Hey guys, Road Warrior back here again. I recently had gotten second place in the Maku Maku Carnivores. This is one that I hadn't revisited in a long time. This one can be very frustrating. Special thanks to my buddy Dizzy Hooks, who had shown me a rotation in this a long time ago, and I just hadn't had time to go and experiment with it myself. But I kind of wanted to show you guys how this map breaks down for the Pi era to start. From there, there's a lot of different things I want to talk about here in the kind of the tips part of it. Spot one here, a nice boat mark for you. And then the first Payara spot here, kind of knowing how the map itself breaks down and how it overlaps does really help because this is only a 30-minute comp. Now you'll find other marks in through here. That's kind of a MAC alternate. You'll find that sometimes if you don't get it off that first mark, you can scoot up a little bit and throw there. And ultimately, if you leave a trophy behind or something, you come back. Also, now everybody probably knows off of YouTube, a lot of people usually fish this area here. But you don't want to catch the unique there because it will kind of mess up the overlapping part of it. And that's what my buddy Dizzy Hook had explained a long time ago. So you don't want to catch it there because it can mess up this spot here. So following along, if you catch it at spot one, you want to come over here to spot two and then eventually all the way down here to the canal. And I normally back up in here and kind of use that as a boat mark. If you'll see here shortly when I walk you through some other stuff, kind of how I park there. Kind of does help me. Now you can park there and throw the opposite way if you really wanted to, but for me it seems to work better in that spot. From there, you guys are going to kind of have to, supplement yourselves. You're wanting to get either bass and that sort of thing. Again, special thanks to this player here. He's a great player. He used to be in our club. He just don't have much time to play anymore. He plays a lot more on mobile, but he is a great tournament player. I wanted to make sure to highlight him on that. Again, Dizzy Hooks, thank you so much for helping out the community here. I wanted to show kind of in action here too several things. If you don't have the, let's say, X Series walker, there's so many lures you could use in this. I actually like the 3/4 ounce 4.0 trophy popper, but just in case you don't have that, I would try to get that. Also, on a side note, I did lose my trophy walker 3.0 a long time ago. I'm sure that would be great for this. One of the only lures that I've lost in a game outside of the Pilker there. It's a whole other story at the ocean, but I did lose that as well. But I wanted to kind of go through here, just kind of show the rotation here in a template. It's kind of how it works. Now, I would probably say around 10 minutes per spot. You kind of have to focus on the Payara, but don't let it eat up your entire clock. That will happen to you. Just kind of showing how each one of these kind of play out. In other words, at spot one, it might be slow, that sort of thing. You're going to have to make a lot of decisions on your own, and I'll show the actual run coming up here. But I've gotten several top tens in this lately, as well as I think I had another podium. I don't know if I clipped it or not, but I just wanted to show some of these spots in action, and as well as some lures that might work for the lower level guys. Experiment with your walkers. Also, on a side note, anything that you guys are throwing, we've talked about this before on the channel and in general amongst the community, whether you want to use a titanium leader or not, that is entirely up to you. If it's something you want to protect, make sure that you do so. Also, I'm showing you the setups in the event that you're looking. You want slower reel speed, basically. I think that does help. This is basically just a little galaxy with a vortex. I do put that 4th of July cannon reel on that. Same kind of a thing I do on Topwater Rodeo. Now, this is the one I actually use myself, again, 31.5 inches on the recovery. Look at your reel speed, guys. For Topwater, if you're going with Topwater, definitely a good way to go just to have a slower presentation. I've mentioned that before, but again, that's there, as well as you want a thunder spin on here unless you're using something else. You don't have to use Topwater. Again, 31.5 recovery there, so that does help. Now, I normally do a titanium leader again on anything that you're scared of losing. So if you had the 3/4 4.0 trophy popper, you would not want to lose that. Again, to each their own on how you do that. Now, since I have a backup Patriot Walker here going into the actual run itself, I have backup of those, as well as I got a bigger setup, so I know that I can max drag those and not get bit off more times than not. So I will risk it there, but again, you guys do what you do when you're playing. Just be very, very careful on these things. You can lose lures. I had a buddy once lose a X Series 4.0 walker before, even in a template on these Payara. They can be very, very nasty, so be wise in what you're doing there. Again, as you notice, the first spot, I did get a unique out in this run. I left a trophy behind, and again, that's all gut instincts on what you want to do and how you rotate. This one can be very, very frustrating, but it's a very fun, can be fast-paced. On a side note, more often than not, I will try to get off in a room by myself whether it doesn't really matter. I don't think the room. I just pick a random room in this one. It seems like if I go into a room with 4 or 5 people, it's like I don't even get fish spawn sometimes. You might find that yourself here on Fishing Planet. We've discussed this in great detail. Anybody that's followed along the channel as well as played in these, sometimes you just don't get fish spawn. So I merely just went off another lobby, started there. Also, as you can see here, make sure that you're working these lures all the way up to the boat. As you can see, I wanted to zoom in and slow that down. The unique actually spawned right in front of the boat. So make sure that you are walking your lure all the way back. Again, I've got my trophy and my unique out of here, but it doesn't hurt to maybe make one cast, 2 tops. You will need some filler fish, and that can come in the form of common peara. You can get arowana as well. Now, as you can see here, I pulled down in this bottom spot, spot 3 for me. And you don't have to go in any particular order, entirely up to you, but I just wanted to show you that you can get those 3 uniques this way. Again, special thanks to Dizzy Hooks, who had figured this out a long ago, probably 2-3 years ago. Probably he'd been great at this competition. Again, can't thank him enough here. That's made this one a lot more fun. In other words, this can make you very competitive in this regard now on Maku Maku Carnivores. From there, figure out what lures you like, that sort of thing. Now, in this one, you'll see, man, I am on a great pace. I actually messed up in this one just with my inexperience. Again, for you guys, I would suggest making sure, number one, practice the 1-2-3 rotation, but keep in mind, everybody might have different supplemental ideas. Again, as I'm backtracking here, I had 11.5 minutes left, and boy, did I squander this. I could have got first place in this, should have got first place in this. I'm backtracking here, just trying to pick up whatever I can. Again, the moral of the story is not only do you want to kind of get 3 to 4 trophy peara out, 3 uniques, but you need to be able to supplement if you're having a great run like this. I needed to have another arowana spot, maybe even a butterfly bass spot to supplement. So that from there, you guys are going to need to figure out, once you get the 1-2-3 down, following along, make sure that you have a spot that you can come back to and get some arowana and some probably butterfly bass. Now I'm coming down here in the clutch. I'm thinking, man, boy, did I waste this run. I finally got a decent start in this thing. Only got 3 minutes left, so I come over here at the end, just hoping to get a trophy, for remembering I left a trophy behind when I started here. That's one good thing to keep in mind. Always know what you have available, and sometimes you have to rotate out. Sometimes you might have to leave a unique behind, come back for it later. Again, don't sit there too awful long. If a fish isn't spawning, it's just not spawning. Don't hesitate to move on. On average, on each spot, spot 1, 2, 3, wherever you want to start in whatever order you want to label it. Probably 8 to 10 minutes per spot. Hopefully, you can get at least a trophy unique out, or one or the other, maybe a couple comments to keep your score going. This one does give away, I'm pretty sure, the Major Popper 5.0 and a couple other lures. Great lures in this one here on Maku. But again, right here in the clutch, I did pull this out and got up into 2nd place, guys. So I hope this helps you guys out on Maku Maku Carnivores. Again, special thanks to Dizzy Hooks, and we'll see you guys again in the next one.